epidural space right here.
No.
See? I'm already lost.
That's okay. No, you're not. This is. Remember, that is a ligament. That thing out here is a ligament. Just ignore it. That is the dura mater. Remember that around the spinal cord, the dura mater is not fused to the bone. It's only fused, well, it's not really fused, but it's up against the bone around the brain.
Because there's no epidural space,
Yeah,
it's just a potential space.
But here it's an actual space that has fat and blood vessels and nerves in it.
So this is the epidural space here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the dura mater here. The subdural space doesn't exist in the spine. It's just a potential space,
Potential space.
This is the
The arachnoid.
and then this is the. It's a thing that goes around. It's not the pia mater, is it?
It is.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's the pia mater.
And then this is
These are the posterior little crack sulcus.
posterior median sulcus.
Median sulcus. These are anterior median fissure.
This is right here. This thing.
Fissure.
Yeah, the fissure is that little crevice. Actually, I was asking what that space is. What's that space in there? Deep to, yeah, it's subarachnoid.
Subarachnoid. You should be doing this.
Okay, so
We have a better voice.
This is the gray matter. So these are the anterior horns right here, the lateral horns, and the posterior horns. This is the posterior funiculi, which are the tracts of the white matter, the lateral funiculi, and the anterior funiculi. This is the central canal, where the cerebral spinal fluid is located, and it's also located around here.
corona radiata. Basal nuclei.
These are the motor neurons, and these are the sensory neurons. And this is
And what are those called? These parts of the spinal nerve?
the RAM. No.
Roots of the spinal nerve. The roots carry this. The roots are where the sensory and motor neurons are separate. Okay, so this is the anterior root. That's the posterior root. This is the posterior root ganglion.
Posterior root ganglion.
They come
where
together
the
here.
unipolar.
Yeah, unipolar neurons have their cell bodies. So they come together here. So
And
this
that's the
is
spinal nerve.
the spinal nerve.
Okay, and this is a ramus that turns out to be the gray matter.
Gray ramus communicans for
Gray
the sympathetic neurons. That is
Anterior.
sympathetic trunk. It's part of the sympathetic trunk.
Okay.
What are these? If this is a spinal nerve, these are the roots of the spinal nerve. These would be.
Oh my gosh, I have to study all weekend. What are they? Anybody?
No? Rami. They're the rami. Posterior ramus, anterior ramus.
Okay, so that was getting confused. So this is the sympathetic trunk, and then these are the rami right here.
This is the one that comes around to the back, and this is the one that's either going to enter the plexus or in the thoracic region, would just form the intercostal nerves.
Because the posterior rami are very small, and they just go and innervate the back muscles.
Yes.
And then anterior rami go in and actually go to the plexus, and then like they go to the hub of the airline, and then they go out.
Exactly.
But only the back have
This is the back.
the ganglion.
The posterior root ganglion? Is that what you're talking about?
Where is it?
That would be
This
part of the
one?
sympathetic trunk too. That would take it to the.
Yeah, posterior root has the
This is the
ganglion.
posterior.
So same thing on the other side. Then this is goes to the. This is going to the sympathetic trunk.
And these two are the ramas?
Yes.
Anterior and posterior. Any other questions?
Wait, what's this again?
The,
Motor nerves.
that's the epidural space.
Epidural space.
You're
This?
supposed to know the inside. What is it? Or no?
This is the
Well, those are
epidural
just blood
space right
vessels.
here. And this is the
What's this?
subarachnoid
This
space.
is epidural space?
So this is also an.
That's an arborvitae.
Professor Gorman, this also is an epidural space?
Yeah, it goes all the way around.
Also, it goes curves around.
But when you get
It doesn't go
the.
out into the spinal nerve, but it goes around the cord.
So if these are in the
I mean, you see it
intercostal,
on the
this is in the
anterior side and
intercostal
the
space,
posterior
so this is just one continuous The epidural space is one continuous thing.
But
that we
it
talked
contains the
about.
motor
So,
nerves, right?
from here we can see the
Well, it
inner
contains
and outer layer of
the motor nerves. Is that what that is? No.
No.
No, there are nerves that branch into that space. It has its own nerve supply, but and blood vessels. But it is just filled with fat, connective tissue, and
And then for the epidural injection, it goes into the epidural space.
Exactly.
But then for the lumbar puncture, it goes into the subarachnoid.
subarachnoid. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Everybody know this?
very good.